I'm Juliana, and welcome to Classical Bookworm, the channel of my sister Sophia. This is going to be Act 2, The Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, and she's just going to take you through some key points, and as well as a question to make you sound smart in class.
Yep.
So this is going to be the rising action, so what's going on?
Alright, so as you know, each act has a specific purpose. In Act 2, it's the rising action, like Juliana has already said. This is where the story gets going and characters confront challenges and conflicts. In Romeo and Juliet, they realize that their love is forbidden because of their two different families, and they secretly get married.
So Act 2, Scene 1.
Alright, before Scene 1, the chorus describes the new love of Romeo and Juliet, and the hatred of their families makes it hard for them to be in a relationship. And after leaving the feast, Romeo decides that he cannot go straight home, and he's going to go find Juliet, and he goes into the Capulets' backyard, basically, in their orchard.
He jumps over the wall.
Yep, he does.
Like a pro.
And then his friends, Benvolio and Mercutio, they look for him, but he is ignoring them. Mercutio, he's being a jerk, and he mocks Romeo's love for Rosaline, and then Mercutio and Benvolio leave because they assume Romeo doesn't want to be found.
Scene 2.
Alright, Romeo, he sees Juliet appear at a window above where he is, and he doesn't say anything. And then Juliet, she starts speaking loud to herself, and she's like, oh, why is he named Romeo Montague? Why is he a Montague? And she's kind of upset about that, and then she says that she would marry him if he would stop being a Montague, or that she would give up her Capulet name if he would marry her. And then Romeo reveals himself, and he
jump scare.
Yeah, he jump scares her.
Jump scares tell me a life support, bruh.
And he's like, I love you, Juliet. I will love you.
Leave! You're gonna be attacked. And he's like, whoa.
And he's like, oh my god, what?
Yeah, you're gonna be attacked.
And then Juliet says that she's going to send someone to Romeo the next day to see if his love is honorable and if he intends to marry her. So Friar Lawrence appears, he's collecting herbs, and he talks about how good and evil appear in many things. And then he sees Romeo, and he wonders if he slept with Rosaline because he looks like he didn't sleep last night. And Romeo says he didn't do that, but he's in love with Juliet now. And Friar Lawrence is like, what?
You know, she's kind of hot, though. Baddie. He's like, whoa, young love. Ah, how I wish that.
When I was your age. Alright, so then he comments on young love, and he agrees to be the priest for the wedding. He agrees to marry Romeo and Juliet.
Marry both of them. And then he's like, the next day, he's like, oh, yeah, I hope the feud between both families, like, I hope that's over, because that's not skibbity, you know? On skibbity, Yeah. Scene 4. Scene 4.
Alright. There's a lot of action in the scene. Mercutio and Benvolio, they're both wondering what happened to Romeo the night before. And Benvolio knows that Romeo never returned home. And then Mercutio's like, it's Rosaline's fault. And Benvolio, he says that Tybalt sent a letter challenging Romeo to a duel. And Mercutio says that he's already dead with
shot by
love.
Cupid's arrow. Wow. Oh my gosh, can Romeo ever
died of love?
Could he ever defeat him? Like,
no, yeah. He's wondering if Romeo could defeat Tybalt in the duel. Mercutio says that Tybalt is a master swordsman, but he's also a fashion monger.
Just a narcissist, bruh. Just a narcissist. Anyways, scene 4 continuing.
Alright, so Romeo arrives and Mercutio taunts him, saying that he's weak because of love. And then Juliet's nurse, shows up, and she asks if anyone knows Romeo, and Romeo is like, it's me, I'm Romeo. And then he asks the nurse to try and get to Friar Lawrence's that day before they are married, and the nurse agrees and says she will have a call-off ladder outside of Juliet's room, ready for the wedding night. Alright.
She's been waiting for the nurse. She's like, oh my gosh, what happened in scene 5, by the way? She's like,
5.
What happened? What happened? What did he say?
So she's been awaiting for the nurse to return, and she's like, what happened? And the nurse is like, I'm too tired to explain.
Then she finally does.
Alright. And then she's like, all right, I guess I'll tell you. Romeo is at Friar Lawrence's waiting to marry you. And then the nurse just leaves, and she's waiting for Romeo's servant to bring a ladder for the wedding night.
Scene 6, Romeo and Friar Lawrence are just waiting for Juliet. They're like, oh, when will she show up?
Yeah. And then Romeo says that he doesn't care what misfortune comes because it can't compare to the joy he has right now.
Uh-oh. Did he jinx himself?
He jinxed himself totally.
Jinx?
Totally.
And Friar Lawrence, he's like, yo, chill down. Don't love too intensely, man, because it brings violent ends.
He says my shirt.
These violent delights have violent ends. Yup.
Yep.
She shows up and she's like, Romeo, describe my love poetically. Describe our love poetically, bruh. Write a whole poem for me.
Alright, and then she says that her love is so great it cannot be described so easily. And then they're married by Friar Lawrence. For lack of a better phrasing.
Here's a question that's going to make you sound really smart in class. So, in Act 2, it's Scene 6, what does Friar Lawrence mean when he says, these violent delights have violent ends? You know, like, what do you mean delights have violent ends? What does that mean?
Well, he's basically saying that since their love is so intense, and love is a delightful thing, then their, intense love is going to end really badly.
And an example of that is also, if you really like someone, but there's this guy that also likes this someone, then you guys could end up fighting, and that could have a violent end. So that might be an example. And, they both die at the end, so violent end.
They died?
Oh man, I totally didn't spoil something that everyone knows.
They died?
Everyone knows that! Everyone knows that!